Hi guys, it's Screamarts with another video for D&B Academy. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We really do appreciate your support. Today I want to talk a little bit about groove with halftime drum and bass stuff, for example, but it can be used for other subgenres as well, or other musical styles, but I think it's quite apparent in halftime music, and it's all about that like groove and that kind of shuffly sound. So I've just prepared a couple of sounds. It's basically just a kick, a snare, and one hat sample. It sounds something like that. And if you would arrange something like that, you would probably go about it that way first, and there's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes tracks can really benefit from a simple halftime part as well. I've did it as well, especially if the basses are quite heavy and you kind of want that like straight dubstep like vibe to come across. But with a lot of halftime, it's more nuanced. So the straight thing would just sound like that. Sorry. You know, nothing too crazy, but with the right context, because it's all super finished sounds already. This is like hi-hats from Urban Dawn, snare is one of mine, but already one that I finished, and the kick that I've tuned to hell already. It's one of the kick presets that I use basically in Serum. And yeah, even with a bit more like nuance on the hats, it would still sound quite straight. And I think that sounds cool, but what I hear a lot in halftime is an actual hip-hop influence. And what that is basically a shuffle, and a shuffle works like that. That is basically a straight loop, if you listen to the hats. A shuffle basically tries to, basically takes the first hit and the second hit. You always do it in two, and you just move the second hit. And what always works is basically making it a little bit different. Like, for example, here, turning down the volume just a little bit, fading it a little bit different than the first hit, and then we get even more of a distinction. And then it already sounds more hip-hoppy and groovy, and I'm gonna make a few examples of this, like maybe even crazier shuffles. And then we're gonna take a listen, and we're gonna leave the snare pretty much on the beat, and just use the hats as a shuffle. Let's take a listen. Do you notice how much more that grooves? You know, and the very cool thing about using shuffles like this is now you know where your next kick could be, and you could remember that it's always two little fields here that you can build your groove around. So you could always offset it by these two little things and make your kicks make sense in that context. And then, for example, make a kick right after the snare, but in that same way that we did that earlier with these two hits here in the space. And then you already have a very groovy thing. You can also, of course, not do it exactly where the snare is, but like where the hat is, but like different, so like that. See how that just grooves. And I really like that on that hat, so we're gonna leave it like that. See how much more that swings. It's just it's a very easy trick to get swing, and then to do that with your kicks, and you can literally then take a similar principle with the off snares and just kind of play with that. That one was too crazy. And try around with the different hits, and that's how you get a real cool groove. And over there, for example, we did it extra extreme, extra hip-hoppy, and that's what a lot of Halftime is inspired by like old school boom bap hip-hop. You can even go crazy like that, almost make it like. And of course, you can also do that in double time, and you can just basically, take one hit here and do that in double time, no problem. Figure out double time groove. That's a quite simple shuffle still. You can make the shuffle more extreme, like in the next bit. And yeah. Yeah, I like that shuffle a lot. And yeah, that's how you get a groove. And you can do that with vocals, you can do that with bass sounds if you export them to audio to make it easier, and then get a really groovy beat down. Yeah, wonky like that, and I hope you like that and open your eyes a little bit on how to make groove a little bit easier and how to get cool shuffles for your track. Yeah, peace out.